Welcome back to my channel. So I have been away for quite a while, and if you do follow me on Instagram, mindful_and_messy, you might have an idea why. So I recently just got married, so I have been really distracted lately, and I've also changed roles at work into a permanent position as I've come off the graduate program, so things have been crazy. So something had to give, so I'm back now. So today I thought I'll give you a little bit of a rundown on what's been going on in my life, what's been happening, what I've got planned for this year, and how I've been dealing with all the craziness and managing all the stress, or not. So a quick update. I got married, like I said before, about 3 weeks ago. So we've been planning our wedding for about 18 months, and we made the crazy decision to hire a venue where we had to do absolutely everything ourselves. So, and I'm talking everything. I had to hire knives, forks, glasses, tables, chairs, napkins, everything. So we ended up deciding on this venue because it was just the most beautiful place you've ever seen. So we made that decision, and it was a really amazing decision, but it just meant a lot of extra work for us. So I had this beautiful vision of a beautiful summer wedding, all outdoors, out in the garden, with a beautiful ceremony, out under a big tree, with a beautiful big backdrop in a paddock, and then the reception out under the stars with big festoon lighting on a beautiful summer's night. Well, as the wedding grew closer, we got closer and closer to the day, and it was a week out. We got the final forecast. It wasn't going to happen. It was massive storms were forecast. We had to go into backup plans. We had to hire a marquee last minute. We had to move the ceremony to a more protected area onto some pavement. And the night before the wedding, we had a torrential downpour and everything got flooded. And then on the morning of the wedding, it was still raining, and it rained all day long. So we ended up pushing the ceremony back by half an hour. Thankfully we did that because a massive tree branch fell nearly on my mum and my brother as they were walking down the aisle, which would have been right where all of our guests would have been had we have had the ceremony at the right time. So all the craziness aside, we got married, and it was a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. Our celebrant was amazing. Our photographers were amazing. We had a beautiful reception, and it was just an absolutely amazing night. So it ended up being a great day, but very stressful. Very, very stressful in the lead up. So aside from my wedding, I also changed jobs. I changed jobs 2 weeks before the wedding, and I also had the opportunity to be a project manager for a bid which coincidentally went in the box on, so it was submitted on the Friday before the wedding, which was chaos, as you can imagine. So what that meant was I was on point for a lot of things, and I went on annual leave the Wednesday before the wedding, but I still had people calling me at like 7:30 at night, 2 days before the wedding, while I was at the tanning salon. It was just chaos. But through doing that bid, it was my very first time being a solo project manager, being left to be responsible completely and sort of left up to my own devices, which was an amazing opportunity, and I was completely thrown in the deep end, and I totally loved it. It was completely the best, and I learned heaps and heaps of lessons. So one of the big things that I did learn was from one of the other guys who's pretty fresh into the project world as well. What he was doing was writing down lessons as he learned them throughout the bid, instead of waiting for the formal lessons learned at the end, which we always do. So this way, he's remembering them as they occur, writing them down exactly as they are, and not trying to remember them after the fact either. So this has been really effective for me, and I've been able to look back on it as well, because I made a few rookie mistakes, as you can imagine, and that's another thing that I learned as well. So, you know, everyone makes mistakes. They're the biggest learning opportunities, they're the best teaching moments, but as long as you don't get embarrassed by your mistakes, you don't try and hide them, and you actually learn from them and don't do that again. That's what you need to take away from mistakes. Don't be embarrassed and don't shy away from them. Own up to them, move on, and just don't do it again. So that's been the start of my 2020, which, as you can see, has been mental. So I'm hoping for a little bit more of a relaxed 2020 for the rest of this year. I know there's going to be some really big, amazing things going on. So in 2 months, Tom and I are going on our honeymoon. We're going to America for 5 weeks, which is going to be absolutely epic. We've still got a little bit more to plan and book and things like that, but we're nearly there now, so I'm so excited for that. I've also got my new role to look forward to. So in the process of that, I'm still really learning and trying to figure out what that role looks like and what that role entails. Now this role is a pretty new role. I'm one of the first people to do it, so I'm going to have a great opportunity to mould this role into sort of something that I want, take a lot of opportunities and take a little bit of a lead in some areas, so that's going to be really exciting. So in this role, I'll spend about 50% of my time supporting and managing bids. So bids are something when we're tendering for work within the company. And then the other 50% of time, I'll be doing functional work for the bid support team. So that's things like managing and forecasting our bids and proposals funding. So that's a really big part of my role. Things like looking after our lifecycle management project process, so making sure that people are following it and using our tools and processes correctly. And the other part of it is just other functional things which I'm still trying to get my head around, learn exactly what they are. So while this year I'm still trying to learn and unravel what my role actually looks like, I'm still going to make sure that I put in place a really good development plan for myself and have something that I can measure myself against development wise, because I don't want to become stagnant or use this new role as a excuse for not developing or moving forwards. I want to make sure that I'm progressing still and still pushing forwards and still pushing for new opportunities as well. Now in the next week or so, we've got to finalise all of our performance and development objectives for the year, which is a formal process that we have to do. So what I might do is in my next video, I'll talk you through what those are for myself and how I approach this task, because I like to be really clear and upfront about my performance and development objectives, and I like to set out really some stretch ones, and I like to set out some others that I need other people's support for as well. So I might talk to you about those in another video. I might also put up a video around mentoring. I know that a lot of us take a lot of time and effort to make sure that we've got a mentor, but then there's a lot of talk about, well, what do you do when you get a mentor and what do you actually talk to them about, and how do we utilise our mentors effectively. So I'll talk to you about how I manage that relationship, and I'm looking for a new mentor at the moment in my workplace, so I'll talk to you a little bit about that process as well, which is pretty interesting. And if there's any other topics that you guys would really like to hear about or would like advice on, please do let me know. I'd really love to hear about them, and I'd really love to talk to you about them and give some advice if I can. So if you've liked this video and you like videos like this, please do give it a thumbs up, and please do subscribe to my channel. It really does help me out, and it will help me get back up on my feet after I've had such a long hiatus. And if you haven't already, go and check out my Instagram page, which is mindful_and_messy. And I do have some wedding photos over there if that helps you out. But I also post some really good motivational and work-based posts over there. And I'm also doing a little bit of a 30-day minimalist challenge for myself over there as well. So I hope to see you again. Thanks.